Oh, there goes a greater bush shrike. We've actually seen one. Is it not? Can you see it there? Have you got it there? Beautiful. Grey-headed bush shrike. We saw one yesterday. Normally they're very secretive birds, but look at that. Now, some of you didn't hear me properly when I said it yesterday. The grey-headed bush shrike. Let's just make sure there's no confusion. It's disappeared already. Nice quick glimpse of it. It's such a beautiful bird. Sorry, I was chatting about the least seen bird in the Sabi Sands. Oh, hang on, Tristan found that other male lion. Let's go have a look quickly.
He's moving away from us and he's in the long grass right in the distance. But at least there is the view of the second one. So that's 3 Birminghams this morning. Now, just to find the 4th. I'm not sure which Birmingham it is. Turn this way. That's Mfumo by the looks of things. Looks like there's a big cut under his eye there. So it looks like Mfumo there. So I don't know who the other one is. Maybe Tinyo or Nena that is also with him. But he's just dropping down towards some water, which he'll drink there, and then hopefully from there he's going to come up and out back towards this other male that's sleeping on the right-hand side here. So he's moving generally towards where that other male is. So hopefully we will be able to find them. It's at least a brief glimpse of a 3rd Birmingham Boy, and I'm hoping beyond all hope that they decide to move in this direction. I also saw the tracks for the buffalo. They went and drank here, and then they obviously got pushed by the lions from here all the way southwards to where quarantine is. So I don't know where that buffalo herd ended up in the end. They must be still running by now. They must have had a very tough time of it last night, because not only did they have the Nkrumah Pride, but there was also 3 Birmingham Boys hanging around, which is not a good place to be if you're a buffalo between all of that. And as you can see, one of them did meet a sticky end, I'm afraid. But I don't know what's wrong with our lions, why they keep disappearing on us. They keep lying and going into areas where it's difficult to actually see them. But we'll have to just be patient, I suppose, and hope that one of them comes out a little bit more. JC Charles, you're asking how many Birmingham Boys are there actually, because we always only talk about 3. No, not really. We talk about 4 of them. There is Nsuku, Nena, Mfumo, and Tinyo. So that's the 4. And they are here in drips and drabs. We very seldom see all 4 together. We find that one goes and then another one comes in, and that's how it works. So we do see that there is actually more than that. And I'm just hearing on the radio that they've actually got a kill there by the sounds of it. So maybe this is where the Nkumas fed last night for the first time. They killed a buffalo here, and then they followed it all the way through to the other side. So I think so. I think that's the case, but I'll have to try and see if I can reposition. But that's exciting news that there's another kill, so it makes sense why these 2 males are not moving from this area. But let's try and see if we can't get a better view from the other side of the dam. And while we do that, let's go back to Byron and see what his plans are for the rest of the morning.
Yeah, it sounds like it's all happening this morning. And I mean, just in with those males now, there's just a lot going on, and it sounds like another kill. So yeah, that makes sense. But I think, you know what I think's happened is, I think these males have kind of pushed these females off these kills, perhaps. Because it's strange that the females have not gone back to one of those carcasses. And that's quite sad. Hopefully they manage to get a kill of their own, or head back to that buffalo that we had this morning, and maybe they can feed on that. I think what I'm going to do is, my plan is to head down towards Chitwa Dam, see if there are any animals going down to drink, and also do some birding down there. I think we'll get quite a few species. Still quite chilly. There's a little chill in the air. It's not cold at all. I mean, I didn't need my beanie this morning, so it's not that cold. Nikki, you're asking about the kingfishers and if they return a lot earlier than the other birds, the migratory birds. So Nikki, the brown-hooded kingfisher doesn't migrate. It's here year-round. That's why we saw that bird now, the brown-hooded kingfisher. So it's not like the... Oh, wow, you know what, hang on a second. Look at this beautiful male kudu. There's a lovely view. So Nikki, yeah, so the brown-hooded kingfisher doesn't migrate like some of the other kingfisher species, but the one that we obviously know is the woodland kingfisher that we hear a lot in this area. So yeah, no, they'll only return later in the year. Look how that kudu's browsing. Beautiful horns on him. Seb, they're just some little birds that are right in front of us in this tree that's been pushed over. Can you see them here? It's just, they're quite tricky. There we go, blue waxbill. Yes, added to the list. They're just always tricky to get on camera. But it is blue waxbill. Beautiful little birds. And that's a lovely view of them. A lot of impala around here too. Oh, that's a really great view of a blue waxbill. Tiny little birds. And they often move very, very quickly. You can see some impala moving through there. This is a lovely scene, but this big kudu bull is really beautiful. Look at him. Oh, those are huge horns. He's a great looking specimen. Mary Kay, you asked how old that male kudu is. I'm not sure. It's very difficult to tell the age of some of these large antelope, but judging by the size of his horns, he does look like a very mature, large bull. I would guess he's somewhere around the age of 8 or 10 years old. Possibly, maybe a bit older. But I think kudu bulls only live to about 10 or 12 years. And he looks like he's still in his prime. So I would guess somewhere around... 10 or 8 or 10. Right, well, Tristan has managed to get another view of that other kill. Let's go have a look and see if he can tell us a story of what's happened there.
Well, there we go. There's another buffalo kill with the fourth Birmingham. So there we go. All four Birmingham boys. We've had them on camera this morning, which I don't know when the last time that happened. Obviously, we can't ID who's who at this stage. You can see he's hot and bothered, but he's protecting his kill. There was actually a side-striped jackal that tried to run in there, and he came charging out and chased the jackal away. I don't know where the jackal's run now, but there is a side-striped jackal hanging around. So this must be the original kill from the Nkuhumas. I can see the tracks from lions chasing the buffalo in this area. So I think they originally killed this, and the Birminghams then came in and pushed the Nkuhumas off, and that's why we've seen a situation where the Nkuhumas maybe went after another one, or the Birmingham himself followed the rest of the buffalo and brought down that other one that we see closer towards the camp. But isn't this exciting to have all of the Birmingham boys around? Hopefully these three are going to actually come out at some point, and we're going to be able to see them nicely and see all three of them this side as well as Nsuku on the other side. So it'll be really nice to have all four around. But that buffalo is almost finished in comparison to what we see from the buffalo around quarantine. There's still so much there, and I would imagine once these guys are finished tonight, they're going to move their way to the one on quarantine. And wouldn't it be great if we could have all four Birminghams together on a buffalo kill on quarantine? That would be a first for many, many moons. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I saw all four of the Birminghams together. It's been a very long time since we've seen that. And you can see how he's dragging it deeper into the shade at the moment. So he's trying to get it under some trees, and they do this to try and avoid getting vultures around here, which attracts unwanted attention. So that's why they like to drag things into these thickets. Difficult to make out who it is at the moment. I don't know if you guys at home can see a little bit better and you can work out who he is. It's difficult, like I say. We know that Mfumo was the one that went down to drink, so hopefully he's going to come back. And then it's either Tinyo or Nsuku that's here. I can't see nicely though as he's dragging. There's a lot of glare on the screen at the moment. Maritza, you say, is this Djuma or Mara? And you say lol at the end. Well, I know, it's crazy, isn't it, that we've all of a sudden got lions coming out of our ears. From no lions to lions everywhere. It's incredible that we get to see them. Are you going to come down towards us? So that looks like, who have we got there? Is it maybe Mfumo? You see how he's covering the blood trail there? So they do this just to stop it being smelling and things like hyenas coming into this area. Come on, come a little bit closer so I can see who you are properly. Oof, he looks like he's coming towards us. I don't know, Alice, maybe somebody might have ID'd him. I'm battling to see in this light. It's really very harsh on the camera screen, on the monitor that I've got. I'm going to try look through my binoculars and just see who exactly we've got here. Is he lying down now, or is he moving? Oh, he's right behind a bush, so it's very difficult. No, don't lie down there. Come out a little bit. Looks like he might just sniff around. I wonder if he's picking up the scent of the lionesses in that area. But at least he's come out a little bit for us so we can actually get a nice view. There we go. Now he's looking at us. He's right over the stomach content of that buffalo. Now that I look through the binoculars, I can see all the stomach content that he's sniffing around. You see he's going to cover that up, try and scrape some sand. He's not doing it very well. It's a bit half-hearted at this stage. Come on, come out for us. That's better. Now you're getting proper dust on it. Come this way. Come on. And he's now urinating over the buffalo. Stomach content, as if it's not bad enough to eat them. Now you've got to urinate over their scent as well, just to make sure that everybody knows that this is their buffalo. Adele, you think it's Tinyo? I might agree with you, Adele. It's difficult. I can't see his face nicely. You can see now he's just presenting his backside. And look at how round his tummy is in comparison to those females. That's why I was saying that when males eat, or when lions eat buffalo, they generally get massive round tummies. So his tummy is very big. But I'm just waiting for him to look in my direction one more time, because I keep missing him with the binoculars. No, he's going to move off the wrong way now. Still busy trying to cover the scent of what's going on. But how amazing is this? 4 different male lions in a drive. So cool to see. And on 2 buffalo kills. It just goes to show you, as soon as buffalo arrive in this area, these guys are on top of it very quickly. Now, let's quickly jump across to Byron, who's got himself a bird, and to keep up his birdless before they disappear.
Another one for the list, the guinea fowl. Now, Tristan had guinea fowl earlier, but we found our own flock. Always nice to see the helmeted guinea fowl. So that's another new one for us to add. I'm trying to think. Alice, have we got crested barbet on the list? I think I do. Yeah, I thought so. We do have crested barbet. We've got crested barbet and black-collared barbet, which is nice. I just saw crested barbet, that's why I was wondering, just making sure. But nice to see a whole group of guinea fowl. And as you know, guinea fowl are great to have around because they'll often alert us if there are any predators in the area. Their alarm calls I find quite accurate at times. Okay, well, that was a nice quick view of the guinea fowl. Let's head back to Tristan, the lion man himself, and see what these lions are up to.
Well, Byron, you were the one who found lions first today, so I think you got to be the lion man for today. I just, well, got lucky. I drove up towards Sydney's Dam to come look for a leopard track and got a 3 male lion on a buffalo kill surprise instead. So the lions just moved in behind a thicket. Unfortunately, it's difficult to see. We also have a lot of gremlins in this area, so we have to be a bit careful about where we park and how we do things. So I'm going to just try and see where he goes. He's not sleeping yet. He's still kind of got his head up and looking around. I don't know if maybe I can move slightly. Rexon's going to come through here and just pass by, so we'll let him go through and get out. And while the others start coming in, there's a few others that want to come to this area while I try to reposition and try and fight these gremlins and try to find a better place to park. Let's go back to Byron and see where he is and whether or not he's had any luck. I heard there were some Ellies around, which is Byron's favorite, so maybe he's going to head in that direction.
Yeah, they are my favorite, Tristan, but no Ellies just yet. I'm heading down towards Chitwa Dam. Now, while Tristan repositions and gets a better signal spot, I'm just going to stop here and just quickly do some birding. These grassy areas are often quite nice. Maybe we find some birds around here, because if I head down towards the dam, there is that little spot that we might lose signal. So we don't want both of us losing signal. That won't be ideal now, would it? No. You get some dwarf mongoose? Oh, look at that. Some dwarf mongoose sunning themselves. Ah, lovely. They're right out in the open. Wow, they're quite brave. I say that because obviously birds of prey would enjoy a dwarf mongoose, but they are all very alert. A bit of a cold breeze, cold wind at the moment. You can see how the creatures now, all these smaller creatures, getting more active, moving around as it starts to warm up a little bit. Even though there is a cold wind, the sun is up, so it's nice for them to warm up in the sun. I kind of feel like that. To be honest. As soon as the sun starts rising and it warms us up, and it feels very. What's the best way? I don't know. It's just such a lovely feeling. Calm, relaxing, warm feeling, especially in winter. I often find myself just drifting off, daydreaming. Stanley, you say, don't give the mongoose any coffee. Yeah, imagine a little dwarf mongoose running around on a caffeine high. It could be interesting. Well, squirrel would be even worse. We'll have a lot of chattering from squirrels then. Oh, these little dwarf mongoose are all over here. It's great to see them racing through this open little section. Apparently Tristan has decided to take a nap. He's not interested in carrying on drive this morning. No, I'm joking. He's still just trying to fight off gremlins, apparently. Trying to find a better position for signals so he can show you more of those lines. But that is exciting. I don't know when last I saw all four Birmingham males, and definitely not for a long time. So that would be exciting. Who knows? Maybe we get all four of them together. It would be great. Alright, I'm going to try and get down to the dam, but Tristan has got better signal. Let's go across to the Birmingham Boy, Tristan.
Byron, you are another story, you know that. You do make me laugh though, so we'll give it to you. But we have tried to reposition slightly here, but this is the best view that we can get, unfortunately, from where we're sitting, and the other two are lying sleeping, so we're not going to be able to see too much other than where we are now. It does look like Tinyo though. It looks like he's got that half canine on the bottom jaw and that lip that slightly curls in. So it's difficult to say from, like I say, from where I'm sitting, but it could be him. Although, now that I look at it, is that not Nena that we're seeing there? All of you at home, screenshots, and you'll be able to then ID him, hopefully. Where I'm sitting now, there's so much bush in front of him with binoculars, and the screen itself is so glary, it's difficult to make a positive ID. So I'm going to leave it up to all of you. He looks a bit Nena-like. He doesn't have as much scarring as Tinyo, so I'm not 100% sure. Either way, he's on sentry duty at the moment, so he's having to look after the carcass. He's lying right up next to it, and you can see he's breathing quite heavy already. He's going to be a hot boy later. Once the sun gets right up and he starts having to digest, he is going to be a very warm lad. But he'll stay close to the carcass to protect it from those jackals that were running around, and also from any vultures that decide to come down and try and wrestle for this carcass. You're going to find a lot of vultures in this area between the two buffalo carcasses. They're going to come descending down. We know the one on quarantine, that buffalo carcass is quite out in the open, so that's going to be seen fairly quickly. But so Nsuku's going to have his work cut out trying to keep those at bay. This side, at least they've covered it up and kind of moved it into a thicket, but there will be vultures that will find them. When they see 3 big male lions with big fat full bellies, they're going to know something is up. There we go. So a lot of you are saying it is Nena, so I thought so. Now that that we were looking at him, it doesn't have enough scarring as Tinyo. So Nena and Roshni, you say it's not grumpy enough to be Tinyo. Well, that's probably right, Roshni. Tinyo is a grumpy lad, especially when he's around the females and food. He tends to get a little bit on the grumpy side. So he must be lying with Mfumo on the other side. Mfumo was the one we saw very briefly going through the big tall grass and down towards the water. And Mfumo was the first one we saw. Tinyo must have been the first one that we saw when we arrived, who had his head poking out of the grass and then lay down. So that's all 4 of them. We've at least managed to kind of get some sort of identification on them, which is really good. And it's amazing, like I say, to see all 4 is really quite incredible. It's been, for me, probably at least a year and a half since I've seen them all together, which is a really long time. So I'm super glad that we've seen most of them. Of course, I haven't seen the 4th one. You guys have all seen it, but I'm sure during the course of today we will see Nsuku as well. Taylor's going to be over the moon. I know Taylor loves seeing lions, and so she has an absolute lion fiesta to send her off. I think this afternoon is her last drive before she heads off to Kenya, so we'll just have to give her lots of lion sightings and she'll be able to enjoy all of them. And I'm hoping that these Birminghams finish this kill and decide to then head down towards quarantine and we get them all together with the Nkuhuma Pride. Isn't that a regal looking lion though? I find Nena one of the prettier of the 4. He always seems so big and majestic, and he's got a beautiful tall mane on the top, and then those eyes, those piercing eyes. Look how he's just watching us. You can see the little bit of light white striping underneath the eye that just helps to bring a bit of light in during the night, help them see a little bit better, which obviously last night came in handy because these guys, between them and the Nkuhumas, whoever it was, have had an absolute field day chasing these buffalo around. And it just goes to show how hard it is to be in a buffalo herd when there's lions about, because they just constantly are on your tail. And these buffalo were chased all night by the looks of things. They were chased from Sydney's Dam, and then they were pushed all the way towards quarantine, where they were then another one was killed. So who knows where these buffalo are, but I can guarantee you that they're not going to be back on Djuma anytime soon. They've learned very quickly that this is not a safe place. Now we're going to just spend some more time around the Birminghams, hope that we can get a better view of Mfumo and Tinyo. And while we do that, let's go back to Byron, who continues his bird quest and has some feathered friends at Chitwa.
We are indeed, and now we're at Chitwa Dam. The birding here is amazing. So beautiful African fish eagle, and that's always nice to add to the list. Now I can hear the African hoopoe but I can't see it. I'm trying to have a look around for it because I'd love to get that on the list, but I just can't see one yet. I can hear them. They're like 3 calling, but I just can't find them. But look at that fish eagle. Feathers puffed up. I think it's a bit cold. That's possibly why. Now, there are a lot of birds here, so we are definitely going to try position so that we can get a good view of the dam and what is around here. There's a lovely little one running on the ground.
What do you have on the ground? Sorry.
Just over here in front of us, Seb, running around on the ground. There's actually one just next to the stump, straight in front of us on the left. There's a little 3-banded plover. Beautiful, beautiful little view of it. Chitwa is a cheat sheet, perhaps, because there's so many birds here. Well, you know, you've got to come down to these waterholes, and you've got to use them to your advantage when you are trying to get to birds. So I'm going to see if we can find another 10 here quickly. That is going to be my challenge. Try get us up to 50 on camera. So I'm going to reposition quickly, just so that the light is a bit better, because we're looking into the sun now, so it's a bit difficult. Oh, the wind is blowing quite a bit here too. We shouldn't lose signal, but I'm just going to reposition over there quickly. And see what else we can find here. Now, I think Taylor had green-backed heron here yesterday. I'd love to find a green-backed heron, but as I said, I'm looking for these African hoopoes too. I can hear them calling, I just can't see them. Some swallows around. Oh, there goes a Senegal lapwing. Where is that? It's flying above us. I can just hear it. There it goes. Seb, do you think we can get that? It's tricky. There it goes, up a little bit higher, but we can see it. Senegal lapwing. You can see the white flapping of the wings. I can hear it calling. That counts. It's gone now. we got it though, Seb. Thank you. And let's just have a look. Right at the top, we've got the mosque swallows again. Right at the top of that tree. There they are, mosque swallows. There we go, that's nice. Now where's that African hoopoe that I heard calling? I'm trying to look for it. And we'll see what else we can find here quickly. We've got Burchell's starling. We've got the Senegal lapwing now. We've actually got all the starlings. Lovely view of that fish eagle. Look at that. Really, really beautiful in the light. Oh, hang on. Tristan's got a jackal. Let's go have a look.
Yes, we do. Look at that. There's a little side-striped jackal right behind where Nena is lying. And you can see, look how twitchy it is. It doesn't know that Nena is just in front of it to the right. So Nena's just on that right-hand side of the bush. But this is probably one of those side-striped jackals that kept us entertained the other day with the I'm running while pooping incident. I would imagine that it's them. It was in this area that we saw that incident. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we had a jackal that couldn't decide whether to run or to go to the toilet with us. It kept kind of being confused, and it would lie down, would sit and then try squat, and then it would run, and it was all just a bit of a mess. It was highly entertaining but quite funny. So this jackal is obviously trying to sneak in towards the buffalo kill, and that's why these lions have to lie really close, is because when the jackals come in, it causes a big problem. Now unfortunately our jackal is sitting right behind a bush. I wonder, Senzo, do you think if we move slightly, you might... Let's try. I'm going to try and just go back maybe 2 meters and see if we can get maybe a little bit more of a visual. How's that, Senzo? Better or not really? Still a tree. Okay, hold on. Let's just try go back a bit. It's not going to be great for our male lion, but maybe we get a better view of our jackal, because it's not every day we get to see jackal. So it would be nice if we can get a view of the jackal. Oh, do you still see it, Senzo? So I'm just trying to see. There it is. It's sitting there. Let's try here, Senzo. Let's try and get in here. Maybe we're going to get lucky and get a better view of this jackal if I go back to our original position. Oh no. Unfortunately not. Our jackal is right behind a bush, and where we're going and trying to view it from is not working at all. David, you say what a brave jackal. Indeed, David is not brave or stupid. I'm not quite sure. I haven't decided yet as to which one it would be. No. Can you see it there, Senzo? It's not great. There's so many bushes in the way. It was perfectly out in the open, and then it just decided to duck behind some trees. It would have been nice to have had it sit where it was. We just can't find another way to see them, unfortunately. You know what, Senzo? Let's try. Is he there? There, he's going out now and heading towards the carcass. I wonder if we go back towards the carcass, if it's not going to come back to us. Sorry about that, Senzo. It was my fault. I didn't see it until the last second. It's the only frustrating part about it. It's amazing that we have all of these lions here and there's this kill, but the frustrating part is the fact that we're trying to kind of edge around and it's within touching distance, but yet we can't really get there. Now the carcass is straight ahead, so I wonder if the jackal's not going to come around to the carcass. We might see our male lion come bursting into the scene and chase the jackal away. So maybe if we sit here and we watch the carcass for a little bit, our jackal will appear on this side and we'll be able to actually see it better. Although I see there's another male lion actually right at the carcass. You see that, Senzo? Straight in front here, there's another male has come in, so I wonder if that's not Mfumo that's made his way towards the carcass while we were busy watching Nena. So somewhere there. There he is. So you can see a head, a mane at least, through all of the brush. Is that Mfumo or is that Tinyo that we've got there? I can't see nicely. Looks like maybe Mfumo that's sitting at the carcass itself. So our jackal's got no chance. If the jackal wants to try and get in there, it's going to have a serious problem. It's not going to win at all, because the carcass is just to the right. There's the carcass, so you can see how close that male lion is lying to the carcass itself. There's going to be no ways the jackal can get in. Laura, you wondering if the wild dogs would ever try and sneak a snack off a lion's kill? The answer to that is no, because if a wild dog gets anywhere near a lion, it's asking for trouble. It's in all likelihood going to be killed. The lions go after dogs all the time, and I've seen multiple different wild dogs killed by lions. So no, they're petrified of lions. They'll see lions and run completely the opposite direction. They wouldn't even try. The only thing they might do is if, let's say, there was 4 or 5 buffalo kills and the lions had moved off and there was just a buffalo lying there, then you might find that the dogs will come in and feed. But generally dogs are more prone to catching their own food. They don't really like rotten meat. If the carcass is still fresh, then they'll feed off it and scavenge off it, but otherwise they prefer nice sort of fresh juicy meat as opposed to rotten smelly stuff. Senzo, maybe if I go forward a little bit for you, because where I am I've got actually quite a nice view of this lion, so I'm just going to try and edge slightly. How's that? Is that a bit better? Through that gap there, just to your left. There he is there. Still not a great view. You can see lots of vegetation in front of us, so Senzo's trying his very best, but the wind is also causing havoc with the focus as well, so not easy to see. Right, well, I'm going to sit here for a little bit, see if our jackal doesn't come out and we can get a better visual of the jackal and as well as the lions. And while we do that, let's go back to Byron, who's forging manfully towards a half century well, we think a half century. With Megan counting, it's difficult to know at what point he'll reach a half century. Maybe it'll be at 40 if 20 was a quarter of a century a few days ago.
There they are. Well, who knows what will reach, but those are cutthroat finch. I'll try and get a better view. I think that's the female. Where's the male? There was, I think, just around there. There we go. There's the other one. Let's see. Feeding each other, but those are cutthroat finch. You should see some bright red every now and then. There we go. That one going to the right. And you should see the red, the cutthroat finch. So that's another one. That's great. All right. Oh, wow. Look at this. We've got some animals coming to drink. Just like I said we might have. We've got some beautiful zebra off to the right. I wonder if they will come down to drink. Doesn't look like they're heading straight towards the dam, but we'll wait and see. And then also Waterbuck. The Jake, you're asking if we get birds like cranes or herons here. Haven't seen cranes around this part, but herons definitely. And the grey-headed, or the grey heron, grey herons. Yeah, we actually do get the green-backed heron too. I was hoping to see a green-backed heron, but I can't for the moment. There's another bird we can add. Sorry, Seb, just on the right-hand side of that tree. We might even get a glimpse of the zebra in the background, but right inside of the tree, about midway up on the branch, there's a
oh yeah, okay.
44. I need 6 more around this area. So I'm hoping to get another 10 here quickly. Gillian, I think it's the hoopoe that you can possibly hear calling. You can actually see it calling. But there are also those swallows calling. What else can I hear that you might be able to hear? But I think it's the hoopoe that you could possibly hear. Del, you asked which bird has the sweetest song. Oh, I don't know. I think if you had to ask James Hendry, he would most likely say the white-browed scrub robin. And yeah, I think maybe the white-browed scrub robin just has quite a melodious call, and you hear them a lot in the bush. Maybe the white-browed scrub robin. It's definitely not a lilac-breasted roller, that I can tell you. They just make a noise. Look at those zebra. Stanley, I'm assuming you're referring to the Hoopoe with the best haircut in the bush? I think so. A little bit like Tristan. Tristan takes a long time to do his hair when he goes out. I think, Tristan's probably got the best haircut out of any of the presenters. It takes a lot of time. Apparently Ellie complains that he hogs the mirror. He takes a long time to do his hair. We'll see what Tristan has to say about that shortly. I'm sure he's being told as we speak. Oh, that's such a lovely view of the Hoopoe. I remember, now this is quite funny. When I was in primary school, so I must have been 5 turning 6. One of our first projects, I suppose, was we had to draw a bird, or our favorite bird. And I remember drawing, for some reason, I drew a Hoopoe. It was obviously not very good, but the first bird that I got to know or drew was the African Hoopoe. Now at our home in Johannesburg, we get African Hoopoe, and from a young age I remember seeing these birds in the garden every day. They would come and sit on the grass and look for insects. So this was the first bird that I suppose that I can remember learning, was the African Hoopoe, and that was 5 years old. Oh, greenback there, and I can hear it. Where is it? I heard it, and I saw it fly, but I can't see it now. Oh, you know where it is? Do you see those branches hanging over, Seb, on this tree on the bank right in front of us? The lowest branches on the left-hand side. There it goes. There he is. Greenback heron. He just flew out for us. Fantastic. Awesome. I heard him call, and then he's disappeared again. But we got to see him. Greenback heron. That's number 45. Now let's go to Mr. Slick himself with the best haircut in the bush, Tristan.
He's not well, is he? Now, he says that I spend a lot of time grooming myself, but he's the one that has a perfectly shaved face, little baby face Byron, with his nice slick back hair, and he's had it all cut before he got to Safari Live this time. So he's the one that takes good care of himself. Always see him looking in the mirror, checking himself out, flexing his guns, trying to see what's going on. So I'm definitely not in the same category as Byron. He's the one that takes the cake for the most vain Safari Live member. He's always checking himself out and seeing what's going on. I'm just going to quickly say hello to this car that's coming up, because this is Candace, who's a very good friend of mine. We live very close together in Hoedspruit, and I always get to see them, so I'm just going to quickly say hello. Hello, Cans. There's lions all over the place on Buffalo Kills, so drive safe. Enjoy. Cool, cheers. So Candace, like I was saying, we actually live not too far from one another in Hoedspruit, and it's one of Allie's best friends and spends a lot of time together, so nice to see her and just to say hello quickly. We actually had a apple juice with them last night. When I said we went to go see our friends at Nkoro, we went with, and Candace joined us, so just saying hello quickly. Now I'm looking for any signs of this leopard that crossed yesterday. I can see the buffalo, these poor buffalo, they must have been pushed from pillar to post, because I can see their tracks going back towards Simambili, and they must have gone all over the place trying to avoid these lions. Unfortunately, they didn't do a very good job. I think buffalo need to go back to the training school on how to avoid lions, because it didn't go well last night at all. Just shows you how efficient lions can be when there is prey around. We always say that the Nkumas would be here a lot more if there was prey. As soon as there's prey around, the Nkumas are on it. Unfortunately, I don't see any sign of footprints for a leopard, so I don't know if maybe Tiani came in and then just turned and went back again. It's difficult because the roads, both of these roads, both Vertella Access and Triple M, are well utilized roads, and we know that Byron did lots of loops around here yesterday. He didn't find any sign, so maybe she just turned in, and then with all the commotion with lions and hunts, she might have turned back and gone towards Simambili side again. I'll have to try and get hold of the guys that side and see if they have any fresh signs of her, but there's definitely nothing that I can see that's crossing anywhere near the gate system. I've checked the fire break, now checking slowly along Vertella Access. As you can see, we're really just puttering down the road, and so far nothing. So if there's nothing here, then I think I'm just going to meander my way along, check maybe power lines, Impala Road, see if there is a sign of some sort of spotted cat around here, because that would be just the perfect way to finish our morning on Feline Friday. While I do that, let's go back to Byron, who I think is still around Chitwa and still looking for more birds to accomplish his mission.
I am indeed, but there's also some wildlife for us, or animals rather, to look at. Look at the wonderful zebra drinking. They did decide to come down to drink. Keep scanning around, just trying to find any other little birds that we need for the list. But always nice to see a zebra drinking, and a giraffe has joined the gang too. That fish eagle's calling is over there, just to the right. Sorry, I wonder if we can get him calling. Call for us once more. He just gave a beautiful call. They throw their head back when they call, so I'm hoping he does it again for us. Come on, once more. Beautiful sound, that. Something like that. Let's see if he does it again. Watch. That lilac-breasted roller is mobbing the eagle. Those rollers are tenacious little birds. I don't like any birds of prey near them, even though that fish eagle isn't a direct threat to that roller. It's just a bird of prey, so the roller feels the need to chase it away and mob it. No, it doesn't look like he wants to call again for us. Zebra's still out. Now, I did spot something else. Now, Seb, I wonder if we'll be able to get it. Sorry, sending you from right to left here. Right across the dam, Seb, where that dead tree is actually laying in the water. Yeah. And just look at the bottom left-hand corner. Let's see if we can show you. Sorry, further left, and not in the dam, on the there, that one on the edge. There we go. See the crocodile? Can you see the crocodile bottom left-hand corner? Yeah. There it is. It's actually well camouflaged. Looks like part of the tree, doesn't it? Yeah. What bird is that in there? That's a greenback heron. We've got you already. I don't need you anymore. Shame, that's harsh. Always nice to see the greenback herons around. But yeah, one of those big crocodiles already out sunning itself in the sun. Or just sunning itself, shall I say. And they I think especially now, it was quite cold yesterday and very windy, so a lot of these animals, or like the crocodile, trying to warm itself up. Just keep scanning the banks here to see any sign of another bird that we need. I know the black crakes are sometimes seen around here, but I haven't seen any just yet. I think we may leave the dam and see what else we can find. Oh, you know what? We have got other little swallows. Where are they now? Flying around. The problem is getting these little swallows on camera with them flying around like this is almost impossible. I think it's the wire-tailed swallows that I can see flying around that are also here. They're just swooping over the water's edge. Just going to double check, but I'm sure it's the little wire-tailed swallows. Very, very white, pale breast, and they swoop around over the water. Let's see if I can hear the call. Travis, you asked if I've got the hammerkop on our list. No, not yet. Not yet, Travis, I don't. I'm looking around. I don't see one here. It would be nice to see a hammerkop. Oh, there is a... Oh, wow. Sorry, Seb, in this tree, it looks like a scarlet-chested sunbird. The tree on the left-hand side of the bank. So if you go up a little bit more and further to the left... let's see where it is. There, or double-collared sunbird. A little bit further left, Seb. Sorry, yeah, just there. In the center of the screen, you can see it jumping around. There it is. Look at that. There we go. Wow, well done, Seb. Now, which little... is it the scarlet-chested sunbird? I think. Let me just quickly double-check. Sure, I have not seen one of those for ages. For ages. Scarlet-chested sunbird. It is indeed. What a beautiful, beautiful looking bird. And it's the first time I've seen it on Safari Live, so that is fantastic. I'll show you another picture just so you can see it, because I don't know when last someone saw one of these on Safari Live. And there you can there we go. Is that alright, Seb? Yeah, there we go. Scarlet-chested sunbird. Beautiful, beautiful red, or that red coloration on the chest. That is great. Wow. I have not seen one of those for ages. Lovely. I just caught a glimpse of that red. Really stands out, especially now in these dry conditions. You don't really have that bright red color in many of the birds, so it's great to see it. Well, that's a nice one for the list. Oh, I'm excited about that. Alright, well, I think that was a great find, Gillian. You said what an awesome find. Thank you, Gillian. I think that deserves a coffee break. Let's head back to Tristan and see what he's up to.
What I'm up to, Byron, is I'm looking at your favorite animal having a morning drink at Galagopan. There's a whole bunch of them that are coming down. There's still more that are on their way. So it's quite a nice large herd that is here. And there's a beautiful big female in there. You can see, look at her long tusk, the one right in the middle. And lots of little babies. And there's playfulness in the little ones. They've been running around all over the show. So happy that we've got you at the perfect time to see them drink. They were in deep, dense thicket, and you can see the rest of them starting to come from the background now. There's the rest of the herd now arriving. As soon as there's not going to be enough space around this small pan for all of these guys. That is a wonderful sight to see. Lions everywhere, a big herd of elephants. It doesn't get much better than this. I think we've had a cracking morning this morning. So, Sassy V, you say, yay, elephants. And I believe a lot of more of you are also commenting on the fact that we've got Ellies. And there's two very playful bulls that are right at the back. You can see the trees are trembling already and they're pushing one another around. So I'm sure they'll join us shortly. And look at the little one going out to greet everybody. Hello, guys. This is so cool. Ellies everywhere. I always get so happy when I see lots of elephants. It makes me smile, and especially when we get groupings like this, where they congregate around a waterhole. There generally is a bit of jostling. There's lots of rumbling when they join. There we go. Typical. Whenever you get elephants joining at a waterhole, as I was just about to say, lots of grumbling and carrying on as they try and jostle for position and sort themselves out around the waterhole. So you will get that trumpet that comes out. But that was very cool. We had a perfect spot for that trumpet. So Taylor is in FC, and she says that this is a herd that she's been seeing a lot lately, and one of the females has a hole in her ear, and that you've all started calling them the holy cow herd. So, well, it is probably a very good name for them. I imagine this is the herd that Taylor's been seeing. It's not the same herd that I saw the other day in the Mulawati, though. We definitely didn't have a female with long tusks like this. So, holy cow herd or not, it is still wonderful to see this many elephants all around us. It really is an absolute privilege when you get to spend time around them and see them playing and frolicking and going crazy around water, and especially the young bulls. I always love when they get to water. For some reason, water brings out the kid in a young bull elephant, and they then push one another around and play, and it all gets quite feisty. It's fun to watch, and hopefully we'll see more of the same a little bit later. But they're just now resting. Some of them that have finished drinking, they're just off on my left-hand side, and they're taking it easy because they're probably waiting for the rest to finish up. Oh, look at that female resting on the back of the other one. How cool is that? That's what kids are for. It's just to put your trunk and tusks over them so that you can make sure you can take a bit of weight off the old shoulders. The little one didn't like that much. It's amazing just to listen to the roughness of their skin. Oh, look, Mom has just disciplined one of the young ones who was pushing her baby. So she said, "You will not touch my baby. That is mine, and you do not push anywhere." Amazing to see how the maternal instinct kicks in. Even within the herd, if they get too close to their young ones, they then do push like this, and they make sure that their little baby is protected. So you can see the little one is now standing close to Mom. Okay, Mom, don't be upset with us. It wasn't us that pushed your little girl. Or boy, to be able to sex them at that age. I always love when baby elephants walk with the adults, because they're almost as though they battle to keep up, and they have to run and try and, especially down the hills, to try and sort of match the female's pace. Oh, she's a big girl, that female. Travis, you say it's like the babies have hit the fast forward button. Exactly. I love it when they have to run downhill. It seems as though their little bodies kind of fall into free motion and the legs have to try and catch up. It's a series of miscalculated tripping events that happens when a little baby elephant runs down a hill. So always fun to watch. It's amazing to think that as they appear they're going to disappear into these thickets. I think they're heading down towards maybe Gari Dam for a mud wallow and a splash. So we'll probably try and keep up with them. It's going to be difficult. We'll lose visual of them at some point, and then we'll have to just loop around and hope that they come out towards the dam. They are heading generally in that direction. The problem is sometimes after drinking you'll find that they do go into a feeding mode, and then it takes them quite some time to get down towards the dam. So if we don't get them at the dam this morning, those of you that are watching, watch the dam cam a little bit later. There should be some frolicking elephants in the mud just now. The thing is, though, is the Nkuhuma Pride's about to get a big wake-up call, because directly where we are, if we had to draw a straight line to the east, is where the Nkuhuma Pride is sleeping. So they might just get a elephant surprise fairly shortly that will push them out of their slumber, and hopefully it won't chase them too far, because we don't want them to go off the property for this afternoon. I want Taylor to at least get to spend some time with the Nkuhuma Pride before her last drive. So hopefully the Ellies will behave themselves and they'll miss the lions by turning slightly south towards the dam itself. Now we've got one elephant that's posing. He's got his foot up, just showing everybody, yes, that's my foot. Oh no, he's now put it down again. But there's a young bull that had his foot on a stump there and was kind of almost posing with it as just to say, this is my model cover photo shoot, and is now ambling off. It's that elephant that's moving off now. Now, talking about model posing looks and our superstars, we have another one amongst us that likes to pose and do the blue steel from time to time. So let's go across to the male model of Safari Live, Byron Bicep Sorrell, should I say.
Tristan, you've got far too much time on your hands. There's actually one right here.
Oh yeah.
There's a woodpecker right here. We have seen two woodpeckers. That is a bearded woodpecker that we have seen already, and then it's a bearded woodpecker. But the other one looks smaller. Now, where did the other one go? It moved off. I think the other one was a little cardinal. A lot of birds around here at the moment. Now, stick with us, because I'm going to try and... it's always nice seeing those woodpeckers knocking away. Now, I'm trying to see if... let me just finish my coffee. I'm done. Trying to see if we can find the African harrier hawk. There's a nest up ahead. And I saw it the other day. We drove past. But I'm hoping it's in that area now. I need it for the list. I'm going to scan these trees carefully and just have a look. Now, a lot of you were all very happy to see that scarlet-chested sunbird, a first for a lot of the viewers. I'm so happy about that. It's always nice seeing a new bird. As I said, I haven't seen one of those for a long time, so I'm also very, very happy that we got to see one. Oh, that tree is a little bit further down. Now, Mason, we don't really see pied crows around here. The thing is with the crows, now and then we do get a crow flying over from time to time, but the crows are not indigenous. They're not meant to be here. So it's not great if we do see crows, to be honest. There's a vehicle behind us. It's approaching. Now I'm just looking carefully. Where was that nest? I think it was further down, Sebastian. I think it was. Yeah, it was in a torchwood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A Balanites, yeah. Let's have a look. There's some impala ahead. No, I think it was closer to the main road, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I remember it was on the corner. Really beautiful morning, but it is still a bit chilly. Taylor is watching in final control, and oh, there's some Nyala. Sorry, good morning. There you go the Nyala. It's always nice seeing Nyala, male and female, right next to us. But I think let's quickly head across back to Tristan, who's got another view of those elephant, and let's see if they're heading down to the dam.
They are heading to the dam, so I just quickly left them just to get round back to where they are. I thought for a second they might go to where the lions are. The lions are not too far from here, and I thought maybe, just maybe, they're going to head in that direction, but they've turned south now and they're heading more towards the dam itself. So I'm going to just quickly try and get through and follow them down, because it looks like they're in a very playful mood, and I wouldn't be surprised we're going to see them in the mud playing around, particularly the young ones. I think there's going to be lots of hooliganism happening, and much like when Byron sees mud, he likes to get into it and do a bit of it himself. Apparently he's a very good mud wrestler, is Byron. That's what they tell me. He was mud wrestling champion of his school, and so maybe he can one day show us how he does all his moves in the mud and does his thing. Because apparently it was a big deal when he was at school. He got a certificate, and he even got an award, a trophy, for being best mud wrestler of 2003. Just trying to get through this thicket as we get down towards the dam. The dam is not far, it's just in front of me. I can see the elephants on my right hand side, lions on my left hand side. Not that I can see them very nicely, but they are just to my left at the moment. So maybe once they've had a drink they might come and disturb the Nkrumah Pride. Hopefully they won't, because like I said, it would be nice if the Nkrumah Pride was still here. In fact, can we see the Nkrumah Pride from here? No, we can't. They're under those bushes though. That's where I left them. I digress. Let's see, I'm just trying to find the best pathway through, because the Ellies are on the path that's coming this particular direction. There's the elephants there, the first ones, so they are slowly but surely heading our way. Come on, elephants, come join us. Just want to make sure that they don't cross behind me and go in a different direction. Let's go this way. Sometimes when elephants pick up the scent of lions, it sometimes drives them to go that direction and go and just assert themselves and make sure they know who's boss. So just want to make sure that that's not going to happen before we actually go all the way to the dam itself. Come on. So sorry, Senzo, it's going to be a bit of a bump here. There we go. John, you said that I'm doing to keep things pretty around the camp. You can see we're right in front of camp at the moment, so we've got to make sure that, you know, everything is trimmed nicely, that there is a few nice patterns. It's all about doing a bit of Zen patterns in front. And what is it called again when you do all of that stuff, Alice? Alice, you'll know this stuff. You're very enlightened when it comes to the worldly things. But when you do, is it Zen gardens, is it? Can't remember, but when you rake the sand and you have those little, there we go, Zen gardens. So I'm doing some Zen gardens in front of Djuma. Hopefully they'll appreciate it later. I'm doing little stripy patterns, throwing a few branches here and there. Should all work out quite nicely. You can see our Ellies are slowly but surely piling out in front of me at the moment. They are heading dam direction. I'm hoping, like I said, that they don't change too much, because if they change, we're going to have a problem. They're going to chase our lions. But here comes the biggest of the females. Look at her. She is an absolutely beautiful individual. And I love when they bounce like this, when they head rocks from side to side. Hello, girl. You are beautiful. The elephant swagger, as Alice says, indeed. Alice, I love it when elephants swagger like this. It's my favorite thing. And you can see them all just kind of piling past the car as we go. Hello, little one. Catch up quickly. Not you. You're big enough to look after yourself. There's the little one in front. And here comes the rest of the herd. So you see most of the small babies are kind of in the middle of the grouping. There's adults that will be on the fringes, and then the small ones right in the middle. And here's a little one leading the charge. See how it's smelling us? Look how it's got its trunk twisted towards us. Well, then you're learning. Not even an ear shake from you. That's amazing. You generally find that the little ones have a lot more bravado and they try and intimidate us and put ears out, but I think everybody's wanting to go to the dam. It's playtime for the mud. It's not interested in giving us too much of a problem. But look how they're just filing one after another past us. It is magical to be in a situation like this when you have Ellies all around you and having a good time. It is so cool. No, you keep your ears in. No. Stop your nonsense. Young males. Typical. Off you go. Yes, nothing to see here. Carry on. And here comes his playmate on my left-hand side. We're being surrounded at this stage, but this is an older female, actually. It's not the young male that I thought it was. I think the young male is already distributed behind us, but there's a female that's decided I think it's time to have a bit of vegetation on the move. Beautiful. Natalie, you say that I'm being brave with having all these Ellies so close. Well, Natalie, actually, you'll find that the elephants here are fairly relaxed. As long as you park somewhere and you allow them the opportunity to decide where they want to go and where they want to position themselves, they generally are actually very calm animals. So you can see we parked here, most of them were on top, and they decided to follow that route past us, and there was really no aggression from them whatsoever. Had I parked across the pathway and right up towards them, it might have been a little bit different, but at the end of the day, if you allow them space, most of the elephants are actually really good about things. So super chilled with them, and I think they pick up on it. Taylor and myself and Byron, we've all discussed this at length amongst each other, and I think what you put out is, as in terms of the demeanor that you have, and if you're slow and you're methodical with your movements and you don't kind of crash into the middle of the herd and you're relaxed around them, and I think they've probably picked that up. Elephants are incredibly sensitive to their surroundings, so I'm sure they can feel when people are relaxed around them, and that then allows us these intimate views. So we're very fortunate that we also spend time in places where the elephants are not persecuted or hunted in any way, and that allows us these amazing sightings that we get. Now, I'm going to just turn around and get back onto the front side of the herd again as they approach the dam. And while we do that, let's go back to Byron and he can tell you all about the Mud Wrestling Championship of 2003.
Tristan, what Mud Wrestling Championship are you talking about? I think Tristan's been having some dreams lately, clearly. No, there's no Mud Wrestling Championship. Tristan, he makes me laugh. Some guests had stopped for their coffee, and we've had ours already. Oh, here we go. The Jake, you asked if I could give you guys my best bird call. Which is one that I can do pretty well. That I think I can do pretty well. Let me see, I'm just scanning around here to see. Megan says I do the pearl-spotted owl call quite well. Okay, so let's try the pearl-spotted owl call quickly, and let's see. You can tell me what you think. What do you think, everyone? Was that good? Was that okay? That's another one I think I can do. Taylor says she's not impressed. She's in the final control. But Taylor's a little tone deaf, so maybe that's why she couldn't pick up on the call. See, and Taylor's not live, so I can say that without her having a go at me back. Maybe this afternoon she will. What else? We got... there's one bird... You know what? We've got these birds, but a whole group of them have just landed. The beautiful African green pigeons. They've just landed in this tree just off to our left, and it's always nice to see them. There they all are. Look at that. Beautiful light on them. A whole bunch of them that landed there. One bird that I was saying we don't really get here, but that I have seen in the Sabi Sands, the emerald cuckoo. I'll play it for you and let's see how close I am. That's the emerald cuckoo. Let's see if I was close to that. Oh dear, the bird call challenge. Let's see if I can find it. There we go, and listen to this. I think pretty close, don't you think? And then, of course, I'm really very, very good at the grey go away bird call. Go away! Go away!
That's the worst one ever.
Sebastian says it's the worst he's ever heard. It kind of sounds like, that actually sounds like Taylor when she tells us to go away. Go away! Go away! Oh dear, you see what happens, everyone. Towards the end of the morning we start losing our minds. I do apologize. Lovely views of those green pigeons. Always nice to see them out in the open, especially with this light now. There we go, they just called. Chitty chatty Meg, good morning Meg. You asked if we have parrots around here. We do. No toucans. We don't have toucans around here, but the parrots, we've got the brown-headed parrots, which we see quite often on Safari Live. So we'll try to find. I haven't seen some for a while, or not recently, but they are around. They are indeed around. I thought I saw another little bird that we do have, the plover. Now the brown-headed parrots, it's wonderful to see the parrots. We do see them, they are around. We'll see if maybe I can find some in the next few days. They should be around. Alright, shall we continue, Seb? You know what, I'm just going to drive this way. Maybe that owl, even though we saw it the other day, but maybe that giant eagle owl is around. That would be nice to see again. Some beautiful big jackalberries right along the edge of this drainage line. It's a perfect area for those large owls to hide in. Oh, there it is. Look, I found it. Hang on, I found it. Look here. Right here. Wonderful. How is that? What are the chances? Amazing. Hey, well, that is lucky. That is really beautiful. He's not far from us. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? A beautiful giant eagle owl. Sure. I'm really happy that this eagle owl has decided to hang around again. The other morning we also found him out in the open, and luckily it's not hiding right in the thick part of the tree, but nevertheless wonderful to see him out in the open like this. Beautiful bird. I may try to sit here a little bit longer with him and see if we can get another view. The light is a bit harsh behind him. The sun's directly behind him, so I'll reposition again. But the elephants are heading towards some water, and that got Tristan really excited, because apparently it reminds him of his days as a synchronized swimmer. Maybe he can tell us more about his synchronized swimming days. Let's head across to Tristan.
Well, the elephants were coming to the water, but because Byron went on for so long, we've unfortunately missed it all. So they've moved off now and are starting to disappear above us on the other side. It was such a beautiful shot with the dead trees and all the others, but it's fine, Byron, don't worry. My synchronized swimming days, I reminisce about them often. At least I accept it, not like you and your mud wrestling that pretends like he's now forgotten of what it's all about. At least I embrace my past, Byron. You should embrace yours too, and you should come out about the fact that you were this mud wrestling champion, and that you at some stage in your life were that good that you got accolades. And you know, it's acceptable to sometimes brag about your past, and you can sometimes do it. So don't hold back and embrace what goes on. Right, let's see if I can't maybe just get another visual of these guys. Let's see, hang on. Maybe from here might be quite nice. It's at least eye level with the Ellies as they start moving along and away from the dam itself. Comes out there. That pan is not being pumped at the moment because we still have water in Gari Dam, and so I think they came there to check, and well, now that they've realized there's no fresh water, they're going to carry on. It's not warm enough for them maybe to wallow, and that's why they've decided to carry on. But isn't that beautiful to be at the same level as the Ellies as they walk past? Gives you a real impression of just how big they are. So Villiers, who's a really good friend of mine, who also lives in Hoedspruit and who we spend a lot of time with, and he's here a lot with a photographic company, and they spend a lot of time photographing all the wildlife around Djuma, and he's watching today. So hello Villiers, nice to hear from you, buddy, and I hope you're well, and I hope you're enjoying Hoedspruit and a beautiful morning. I know Villiers also likes to go cycling his bike, so I hope you had a good ride this morning as well. And he's saying he's missing the bush a lot. Well, Villiers, this morning would have been a good day to have been here, because we've had an absolutely cracking morning with all of our lions around, and now this elephant herd has just really summed it all up. And Byron, even with owls, it's been a fantastic day. Now, talking about birds, actually, I found this feather while I was waiting for the Ellies to come out, and it is a beautiful example of a feather. So if we have a look here, you'll see, look at the patterns on this, and look at the intricate details that are there. Isn't that incredible? Now, I surmise that this is from a nightjar. It looks nightjarish to me. It could be from something else, but it looks like it could be a nightjar feather. But isn't that nice to see? It was just kind of blowing past us, so I quickly just jumped out and grabbed it before the Ellies arrived. And you can see it's a bit tatty on the end, so I think it's been off for a few days and has had a bit of a kind of mulching around by the wind, and is unfortunately broken apart a bit. But still, the detail in it is absolutely incredible, and all of that will just help camouflage this bird when it's sitting. If it is a nightjar during the day, when it's sitting on the ground, that will just help to blend it into its environment completely. Right, feather down. Let's just try go forward a little bit as the rest of the herd now files past us. Hopefully there will be a nice view of them as they come around. There we go, Sensor, how's that? That's quite nice. So that's the rest of them just coming past and slowly making their way down to the Mulawati to get out of the wind. Right, as the Ellies move past us and slowly meander down to the Mulawati, I believe Byron I think he must be in the Mulawati itself, has still got visual of that beautiful giant eagle owl, Verreaux eagle owl. So let's go back to him.
Oh, he's still sitting with this beautiful owl, and I'm going to leave him soon. He's very relaxed. So nice to see the giant eagle owl. One of our friends is also watching the show. Another guide, Phileas Steyn. Good morning, Phileas. Him and a friend of mine, Trevor McCall Pete, they do photographic safaris. They actually come out to Djuma, and very often they bring guests out here. And he says he's missing the bush, so he's watching the show. I'm sure he would have been excited to photograph this owl. Maybe it's around this area when you back here again, Phileas. I'm sure it would be. Alright, shall we leave our beautiful giant eagle owl? And let him rest in peace and quiet in the tree, in the jackalberry. Now, Angela, you asked how big do these owls get? Now, the giant eagle owl gets just over 60 centimeters tall. So a ruler, what's a ruler about that? So if that bird was sitting next to me, it'd probably be about that size, roughly. Just over 60 centimeters, 62 centimeters. It's very big for an owl, very big. That is a big bird. It's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite owls. Love them, really love them. We'll leave it and see what we can find for the last few minutes. I'm on 47 birds. Imagine another 3 in the I've got 3 minutes to find 3 new birds. Sheesh, that's a bit of a challenge. Let's see if we can quickly get a fork-tailed drongo, because we don't have one yet. We've seen plenty, but we just don't have one on camera. And they are just about everywhere. I've been enjoying this bird challenge, I must be honest. It's been a lot of fun. And what an amazing morning though for all of us. We had the lions drinking firstly the male lion drinking, then Tristan had the rest of the Nkahuma pride down drinking. We then had the male and that female on the buffalo kill. Then Tristan got more males on another buffalo kill. So it was all happening this morning. Really fantastic morning. An elephant, and we've had some great birding. Scarlet-chested sunbird, that was exciting. Not a bad start. Not a bad start to the day, I think. Alright, well, I think that's about it from myself and Sebastian for this morning. Let's head back to Tristan so he can end off the show and see what he thought about this morning's game drive. We'll see you all later.
Well, Byron, I suppose I'm thinking what many of you are hopefully thinking, that it was just the most epic morning. I didn't even see there's an elephant right behind us at the moment, but it was a crazy morning to have the lions and to see all 4 Birminghams on one drive. I think is first in a long time. I'd actually love to know when the last time we saw all 4 together was. So to have them around is amazing. Buffalo kills, jackals, elephants, birds. It's had something for everyone, I think. So it's been really special this morning, and I've certainly had a lot of fun. I know Senzo's super happy because he's seen his lions. He's always happy when he sees lions. And Byron, we discovered that Byron, one, links very long, and two, that he likes to mud wrestle. So it's all happened this morning, and our elephants are slowly but surely meandering off into the distance, as if they've said, right, we've put on enough of a show today, it's time for you guys to go home, and we're going to carry on and go and feed now. So wonderful to actually have spent some time with them as well. But it promises to be a good afternoon, and so hopefully going to see all of you back this afternoon as we explore the wilderness, and it is that time of the day where we are going to say goodbye. And unfortunately we have reached that. It just seems as though we're having lots of fun this morning, and things are coming out of every sort of crack in the bush, and it's really been an amazing day. So unfortunately, from Byron and Sebastian, I'm sure they send their fondest farewells. From myself and Senzo, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we will see you this afternoon on our sunset safari and Taylor's last one.